Hey, what's up? This is Chosen, and this is going to be a King Arthur Legends Rise video. I'll have all the links you need down below to try out this new game for free. But in this video, I want to talk about one of the early game bottlenecks that can jump up and grab you a little bit if you're not prepared. One of the more important areas of the game to be prepared to focus on and make sure you're progressing there as well as possible and maybe influence some of your first hero level up decisions, because this is going to be kind of the first crucial resource you're really going to want to make sure you can farm effectively in King Arthur Legends Rise. Let's get into it. Okay, so in the game, there's lots of different areas you can go to progress and build up different things, to level up your heroes, to get more experience, to be able to increase the power of your relics, to get summon materials, all sorts of different things to focus on, get more stamina, to farm more, and all of that good stuff. But one of the first things I want you to focus on being able to acquire is right here, these mythic mana orbs. And you can see right here along this entire row, it works very intuitively. You start out with those common mana orbs, then you go uncommon, rare, legendary, and then mythic mana orbs. But you're gonna find, as you're new to the game and you're progressing through things, you're gonna be able to get these first like 2 or 3 tiers pretty easily, and it's going to be very noticeable for you that they are accumulating on your account. But I really want you to make sure you're focusing on getting these legendary orbs, and especially these mythic mana orbs, because the mythic ones could be the first bottleneck that you experience if you're not prepared for it. And the reason that could occur is because what's our first instinct when we are trying to develop our accounts as fast as possible? It's let's get to max level, which in this case, let's get to level 60. Let's really get our heroes progressed to being able to hit that XP cap to get as strong as possible before we start min-maxing. But you can see here, I've got a hero that can go to a max of level 50. And when I go to advance them, I click on power up and then I go to advance to get that 6th star. I'm going to need these mythic mana orbs. So what that can do is prevent you from being able to hit those XP caps to get you to the point where you can start min-maxing, because you want to be able to get as much XP as possible. So if you're not mentally prepared for this, you may hit a point in the game where you've got a bunch of 5-star heroes, and then you're all excited to get up to 6 star and get to level 60, max out your XP on your favorite heroes on your account, and then you're gonna be like, oh, I need these mythic mana orbs. And I know for me, I kind of hit a wall right there, and I was like, oh wait, I wish I would have known sooner to make sure I prioritize being able to farm these mythic mana orbs and stockpile them up. And it's worth noting that you can use this synthesize advancement materials right here. You can go ahead and level up different orbs from the lower tiers into the higher tiers. I don't recommend doing that unless you're just going to do it for a couple. I would want you to naturally kind of get them through farming efficiently in the game via proper preparation. So, okay, where do we get these mythic mana orbs? Because they're so important to our early game progression. If we go to the restricted area and we go to the power up dungeons, it is the very top one that appears, the Plane of Beasts, and you're going to be facing Penvade right here. You can see on the bottom middle of the screen these different orbs that's showing they're going to drop by clearing the Plane of Beasts power up dungeon. And I do quickly want to draw your attention to the top right of the screen, because there's a couple really good sections that are going to be extremely helpful for you. So this first one right here, this little eye icon, is going to show you a breakdown of some of the recommended tags to bring towards the fight. Going to be multi-hit and additional attack. That's because the boss here in this dungeon is going to put up a barrier that is like 8 or 12 hits, and you're going to need to burst through that before it has enough time to get to its rage mechanic. So you want to be getting in there, high speed, lots of attacks, multi-hits, additional attacks, all that good stuff to make sure you're bursting through that shield. It's going to be kind of a DPS race. You want to be just blasting in there with as many multi-hitters as possible to make sure you're constantly bursting down that shield and bursting down the boss HP. But then also, there's another one right here, this little 3-bar vertical icon, where it's going to show the clear rankings. And you can see some of the popular choices that people are going with when clearing this dungeon. You've got like Morgan. K is a rare that is a really good choice. I did a video here on the channel talking about why it's such a good idea to level up K as one of the first heroes that you develop. And K was actually the first DPS hero that I leveled up on my account. And K is going to be extremely good in this dungeon because right here, the multi-hit abilities. So when you're going through your roster and you're trying to figure out who to really invest in and develop early game, I do think it's a good idea to be prepared to farm these mythic mana orbs. And when you're going through, you can see things like this on the kit here. 4K, the default ability, attack one enemy 5 times. That's amazing. It's a multi-hitter. We can burst through that shield. Then we've got our 2-cost ability, attack an enemy 4 times. Then we've got our 3 spendability attack on enemies 4 times. So K, massive damage and tons of multi-hit across her entire kit, no matter what ability she's using. But I also want to kind of explain how the expected reward structure is going to be working in this dungeon. So you can see here on level 1, you're going to be getting those common orbs. Level 2, they're going to be adding in the uncommon. Level 3, we're going to be adding in a chance for the rares. Level 4, you're going to be getting a guaranteed of the rare. And then we're going to get a chance for the legendary ones here on level 5. Level 6 is going to be having a chance of all of them. And then the big bottleneck, the big progression point, in my opinion, is getting your roster and your account to a point where you can at least farm Plane of B7. Now, it doesn't have to be a 100% win rate. If you could just get close, if you could just get a team that's 30 or 40% chance to win, that's okay. Because one of the cool things about King Arthur Legends Rise is that if you fail the run, or you don't complete the run in this case, you are not going to be costing the stamina. You're not going to be losing that stamina. So you can go ahead and slam this dungeon over and over and over again, even if you can't quite get to a 100% win rate. But as long as you can get a chance to add these mythic mana orbs, that's going to enable you to really have your account spike in power, because now you're going to be able to get heroes to that max level 60, get them up to 6 stars, and then get a lot more power. Then it'll become easier to farm stage 7. You'll be able to get 100% win rate. You'll be able to level up even more heroes, get a more diversified roster, and take on other content. But I do think that this is going to be the first thing you want to prioritize, is getting to a point where you can farm Plane of Beasts level 7 to make sure you're getting a good stockpile of these mythic mana orbs. And in order to get to the level 7 farming, the highest barrier you're going to need to deal with is going to be a 12 hit barrier. You can see if you come in here and click on this little shield hog icon, it says gain a 12 hit barrier for 5 turns. But then back on like some of the earlier stages, you've got your stage 1 right here, where it's only going to be an 8 hit barrier. I believe it switches around like stage 4. So let me go in here, stage 4, yep, 12 hit barrier. So stage 3 to stage 4 is going to be an important jumping point for you to get to, and then the next jumping point is going to be getting to a point where you can farm stage 7, because that's going to be the first level that drops a chance of these mythic mana orbs. And the first team that I went with on my account as an introductory to farming this dungeon was going to be Merwin, Tristane, Kay, and Clementine. We've just got a bunch of damage coming out and some multi-hitters, and then Clementine giving me a little bit of sustain, just long enough to keep me up in the fight to go ahead and finish the dungeon. So when we fire it up, it's going to look a little bit like this. I'll show you some of the mechanics right here. So right there, you see that big white bar along the top. That's going to be the barrier right here. And since I'm on stage 7 right now, farming those mythic mana orbs, we do have to deal with that 12 hit barrier. But you can see how quick I was able to burst through it there with my K and my Tristane, my multi-hit heroes that are going to be slamming through and getting that done. And then there we go. I fast forwarded a little bit so you can see that shield will come back a little bit. So you want to be able to burst through it consistently. Now that white bar along the HP there is showing the shield is back, and we're going to have to burst through it. And then when I burst through it, you're going to see that the HP bar will go back to the standard red, and that white shield won't be there anymore. Just a couple more. There we go. And we bursted through it, and now it's going to come back again. And then we'll fast forward here to when the dungeon is going to be completing. All right, we are getting close to the end, and there we go. And I'll show you also the stats. Oh yeah, so I'll show you the stats here in a second, but see how I got those 3 mythic mana orbs from that ×3 battle multiplier run? That is crucial, and it means that at least I can slam my stamina into this stage 7 and then be able to progress my account to skyrocket it and get all of the heroes that I want developed XP wise and get them to that max advancement. Let me go battle stats, and look at this. You can see that my K did 54% of the damage, did way more than even my legendary Tristane. Now a little bit of that is going to be the development, the level 60, the gear and all that, but that's why K is such an amazing rare to get leveled up. She's going to be good in a lot of different areas of the game, but also this very crucial part of unlocking farming mythic mana orbs. So yeah, that's one of the crucial things to take note of as you're trying to progress as efficiently as possible in King Arthur Legends Rise. Let me know your thoughts down below. I appreciate all of you. Thanks for watching. Have a good rest of your day. Peace.